Today I want to talk to you about how you can train from home and maintain muscle strength and size without any gym equipment. Now, this might seem impossible, but when we think about the benefits of eccentric training, there is so much that we can do from home. So, eccentric training is essentially the slow or lowered phase of a muscle contraction. Now, when we think of a muscle contraction, there is generally 3 phases. So let's think about that in a bicep curl. The first, we have a concentric contraction, and that is our bicep moving into this flexed position. And this means that the force being generated by our bicep is greater than the external force being applied, which is generally the dumbbell. From there, we have our isometric muscle contraction, and this is when we sustain a muscle contraction and there is no movement. So this means that the force being generated by our bicep equals the external load that it is being applied. Now, finally, the eccentric portion of our bicep curl is when we lower down and our arm straightens again by our side. And this means that the force being generated by the bicep does not equal the external force of the dumbbell, so it is lengthened. Now, eccentrics are special in that there are so many unique adaptations that can occur when we focus solely on the eccentric phase. Firstly, research strongly supports the idea that eccentric work is superior to concentric or isometric when we're looking at muscle strength, development, and force generation. So that's a really important thing to remember when we're training from home, is that if we are doing eccentric movements, they're a lot more challenging with smaller amounts of weight. So we can do our eccentric movements at home without needing all of the gym equipment and all of that extra weight, while still maintaining and potentially even developing our muscle strength. So, for example, if we're unable to do a bench press at home, we don't have the facility, how about we swap to a 10-second lower with our push-up? So, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 10, fighting gravity, getting your ground to the chest, getting your chest to ground. So this is going to be a real challenge, and it's certainly something that most people would struggle with, and therefore we're going to see some benefits and some changes occur there. Similarly, can we look at a squat lower, moving down really slow and controlled over 5 to 10 seconds? Again, this is going to be challenging with minimal to no weights required, and we're still going to see those nice benefits of strength, size, and overall muscle health. So when we're thinking about a home program and we don't have any weights, we don't need to despair because there's ways around it. We can still be getting really strong at home. So think about how you can add some eccentric movements into your program. Again, that's the slow and controlled, deliberate lengthening of your muscle groups. How can you apply that to your training at home and see the benefits that occur? So not only does eccentric training offer the benefits of strength, force production, and hypertrophy, there's also some really great research out there that shows that our tendons and our muscles respond really well to this form of training. Whether this is in a prevention program, so maybe a pre-season program for athletes, and also from a rehabilitation sense where there might be some sort of tendinopathy occurring or a muscle strain. Our muscles and tendons respond very well to eccentric training, so it's something to keep in mind as an added benefit for you if you're unable to attend your rehab clinic and you're doing things from home. There's always ways around these problems that we're currently facing, and eccentric training in terms of developing and maintaining strength is one huge one that needs to be considered.